Hey everyone, just as I said we were starting, I guess Christopher fell out. How is everybody doing tonight? Hello Super Mario Brothers, hello Cuberts, it's good to see you guys in the chat. I am now pulling Christopher back in.
I clicked the wrong thing there.
I was like, it figures. Oh man, I was just thinking, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to change the intro too, but that's okay, it'll take me 2 seconds. But yeah, there's 5 people here so far. They're probably going to trickle in because I put the room up literally about a half hour ago, 40 minutes ago. I know you're listening. Can you give like a little thing about what's happening? Like a little.
Yeah.
A little thing for the.
First of all, I'm gonna say hello to Super Mario Brothers because he seems super dedicated. I'm newer to your channel by far.
Super dedicated, always first.
He's always here. Thank you very much. Super Mario that's my childhood. 1, 2, and 3, hardcore, love.
Same.
But this is
and Cuberts. Don't forget Cuberts. He's the only one in the chat right now besides Super Mario.
Did you say Cubert?
Cuberts.
Cubert on Commodore 64 for the old school people.
Atari for me, but yeah.
Yeah, which is the original. Like Commodore is always the second class port over thing. That was my very first video game and computer experience, was the Commodore 64 with some kind of memory cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
I remember having to enter the control something 64, enter some numbers, load fast. Mm-hmm. For the old school 80s people, load fast. Did you have the load fast cartridge in your Commodore 64? Because I did.
You were richer than I. We had a Tandy 1000. Tandy 1000 was our first computer. But it was Atari. We had Atari though.
Well, that's where you have more insight. I'm like an inheritor as a child, of these things that were already going on. But in my left ear right now, I'm listening to a Twitter space called UFO Space Whistleblower Jason Sands Speaks for the First Time. And I'm a UFO fanatic, but I try to stay grounded. And, what's happening right now, I hope that listeners are maybe familiar with David Grush, who came out last summer, the intelligence community whistleblower, who was like, I was on the UAP task force and, had security clearances and was looking into programs that maybe we, as a country, possess reverse engineering crash retrieval programs. He came out and testified to Congress under oath last summer that this is happening. And it was kind of a big moment last June or July. Died off. No one really followed it. But basically his sequel is happening right now. So the next whistleblower is live on Twitter. His name is Jason Sands. He's going to be featured in the next movie by James Fox. And if you're a UFO nerd, you know James Fox because he released some of the most important UFO disclosure documentaries that have happened in the last couple years. Some of the most serious and well-researched ones. The Phenomenon, which came out, 2017 or 18. And then Moment of Contact about Varginha, Brazil. That came out more recently. he's got a film coming out this year, and Jason Sands, this emerging whistleblower, is his like main witness. And Jason Sands is live right now on UFO Twitter. There's about 700 people in this space, and he's just spilling the beans. It's like, he's read into the special access programs. He's saying Roswell was real. He said, since the 1950s, basically, we've recovered 1 or 2 crash retrievals every 3 to 5 years, which puts us at about 30, roughly, UFO crash retrievals officially by the government. He also claims that he's a first-hand direct witness of alien entities, and that at some point he was 3 feet away from a tall white alien in the desert, and he's blowing people's minds in my left ear.
Well, before you go on, there is a question on the screen for you from Gerald Neal. What's your most convincing evidence of a UFO? The field has lost credibility, perhaps on purpose.
What is personally, I am a newcomer to this entire terrain. I'm kind of I'm gonna just disengage from the left ear chaos of this whistleblower for a second. Mandela effect and UFO are equally mind-blowing. I think Mandela effect is actually more mind-blowing for me. And so personally, what's the biggest mind-blowing UFO? Sort of evidence. That's tough to answer on the spot. There's tons of evidence there. We have the Wilson memos. We have I just see a lot of honest people who are coming forward who have crazy stories. And if you're in
we have seen some things recently that are very hard to explain, but we're given a man-excuse, so to speak. I don't know what to call it, because it's not a Mandela, it's about UFOs, but an excuse of what it could be that sounds absolutely ridiculous. Maybe we'll show that again tonight, Christopher.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I would like to hear more about that, because that's what I'm all about.
I'm talking about the UFOs that seem to be appearing as if they're meteors, but then they gave the excuse.
Oh, the things that blew up and scattered.
Yes.
Right.
But then they gave the excuse that they were people parachuting with fireworks in their hands. What?
Right. Yeah. So
insane.
In the UFO world, we have roughly 90 to 100 years at this point, or of people making claims, and for me, I'm someone who I invest a lot. I'm not a radical skeptic. I'm someone who I'm a good-natured person who I like meeting other people and getting to know them, and I basically sort of default to a trust in human stories from other people who don't seem crazy or who don't have a reason to lie, and they're just ridiculous amounts of people who have witnessed things in the sky, who have woken up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. with someone at the foot of their bed. And
or just missing, like that. What was Fire in the Sky? Was that the name of the movie?
missing time.
No, there wasn't. Is the name of the movie, was it Fire in the Sky, where the guy was gone for like a week or something, or multiple days?
Do you remember
All
which
his
guy?
friends saw it.
Travis Walton, is that the guy?
Yes, Travis Walton. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think that's in the 70s or so. And that's a really good early case where his friends thought he was dead. I think these guys were, I can't remember the exact story, but they were driving in a truck or something and saw a UFO or something. And, you know, their bravest ride-along companion got out and went out to explore it and got beamed by some kind of energy ray in the chest, and they all assumed he was dead, so they booked it like hell out of there. And then there was a police inquiry. I mean, this is really an official. This is not bullshit. Like, you can look into this, and there were official searches for this guy. He's missing, a missing person, for at least 3 days or something like that. And his memories are of being aboard some kind of disc craft. They're his memories are sort of nebulous, you know, but he has certain memories that kind of parallel with abductee experiences. And everybody was looking for him, like, where is he? Presumed dead, type of thing. And then he just shows up at a phone booth, like really, really hungry and thirsty a few days later, with this crazy story. And that's one of the early, very significant abductee cases. That's one of the, you just have to account for this. And that's the kind of stuff they're talking about in my left ear on the space. There's this guy that's been clear, you know, he was read into the legacy programs. He has knowledge of kind of the basic shape of, you know, when did the secret program get started and what have we been looking into. He says 1954 is the year that we really launched our official government program that's, you know, investigating this seriously. Of course, 1947 is the Roswell year. And he claims that, so I missed parts of this. I missed the first hour or so when the space got launched on Twitter, and he, you know, was explaining who he is. But apparently he had some sort of personal meeting in the desert. He says he was 3 feet from an alien, a tall white with a bluish skin. And this guy has gone through the same rigorous legal process that David Grush, last summer's major whistleblower, went through. He's clearing his testimony with DOPSR, which is, you know, the method you go through if you were read into classified secret programs so that you can talk about them, and they have to review carefully, like, what are you allowed to say? So what he's trying to do, he's trying to present his own testimony to add it to the pile. He wants to advance the conversation, similar to David Grush. He wants to pick up where David Grush left off. There was no action by Congress following Grush's revelations, you know, that we have a crash retrieval program that's sort of black ops,
wait
secret funding.
I need to interrupt for a second.
Yeah,
there
please.
was something in Congress.
Yes.
I do remember them, and they basically all were saying like, "Oh, it basically came down to no, there's nothing
Well,
there really." It's like they all switched gears when they were sitting in the chairs.
well, yeah, it's like they got bamboozled. This was late June, early July of last summer. David Grush, who was on the UAP task force, um, sort of assigned by Congress to look into these topics and given security clearances to investigate, went knocking on doors and got as far as he could, and had a lot of testimonies from people that said, "I'm working on a secret project. I know this much." And he came back to Congress and blew the whistle. Like there's secret programs that are not under the control or regulation of elected representatives. They're basically so black, they're super secret, that even the Gang of Eight, who are the congressmen who are, on the intelligence communities, who are supposed to know everything about the most secret things we're doing, had no clue what was going on. And David Grush came forward and said, this stuff is going on behind the curtains. And this guy is basically taking the next step. Like, yes, I can verify all that's happening. I'm also read into these programs, and he has a kind of history timeline of our secret UFO recovery and back engineering programs. He's not super deep on it, but he's aware of it, and he can tell you a story from the 40s and 50s. He's kind of been ushered into the classified documents. His name is Jason Sands. You're definitely going to hear about him on mainstream media. It might take a little while, but he's gone through all the hoops, just like David Grush. He's actually, this isn't some schmuck. This is a guy who was deep in the secret black world and felt a compulsion to come forward with what he knew, and got the explicit permission through DOPSR, which is the process you go through to reveal under recent laws about whistleblowers on UAPs from Congress. Like, you can reveal what you know as long as you're not giving away national security secrets. So they're trying to, he's trying to parse the the fence line between, here's what you know, like, we're not alone, there are other non-human intelligences, but what we're not going to tell you is how we're doing in terms of replicating their technology. We've recovered their technology. We're trying to reverse engineer it. That's kind of well known. Where are we in that process is what's got to be kept secret for national security reasons. But these people want to make clear that we are not alone in the universe, and that's a human interest question that more and more people are coming forward for and want to be able to speak about.
I want to interrupt you there again, because let me ask you a question. If someone was really close with a U.S. president, because the U.S. president would know all this stuff, right?
I'm glad you asked that, and that's one of the highly contested topics in the world of UFO disclosure. Which president knew what? How much were they read into the secret programs? And there's a lot of speculation about basically kind of a need to know. There's almost like a secret and this whistleblower is today confirmed that since 1954, there was some sort of official program set up to deal with this phenomenon, and they've handled it behind the scenes. So how much did each president know? Eisenhower, Truman probably were were pretty knowledgeable. And this whistleblower just today confirmed basically that we actually, in 1954, we probably had actual treaties or agreements with non-human intelligences. Holloman Air Force Base, you got to be deep in the UFO lore to understand what I'm talking about. But this whistleblower basically just confirmed that in 1954 we met with some sort of non-human intelligence and made some sort of agreement with them.
Well, the reason why I was asking was because Tucker Carlson was just recently on Joe Rogan, and
right, I didn't see that one, but I've heard of it.
Yes, he spoke matter of factly, like not. It didn't sound like he was. It sounded like he knew. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying how I'm paraphrasing here. I don't know his exact words, but he was saying how aliens don't come from outer space. They
Right.
come from inside the earth and under the ocean.
Right.
Like matter of fact, like he knew that's where they came from. And I'm like, well, he's good friends with Trump, so maybe they had discussions. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to take your whole show on UFO speculation, but I do think that Tucker is on the scene, and for perspective, I've never been me being on the same page as Tucker is a new thing. But I think people are coming forward, and I think that he's been informed. I think he's got some good sources. And even with David Grush from last summer, you'll hear that he's extremely careful in his phrasing. He does not often use the phrase extraterrestrial. He's very careful to use the phrase non-human intelligence, and has openly sort of promulgated the idea of interdimensional.
That was the other word he used, yes.
And you'll hear that from other Congress members like Anna Paulina Luna and Tim Burchett, the people that are in the UAP caucus who are trying to get to the bottom of this, who are like, basically, where's all our money going? You know?
And wait, really quick, because you said the interdimensional word.
Right.
Because again, my other theory that I had for what's causing the Mandela effect was that string theory, that interdimensional beings are trying to make contact or reach us in some way, and each dimension controls a different aspect that could relate to the Mandela effect. So, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, I mean, we're all in the search for the root cause, what's really going on, you know. And I think the non-human intelligence, sort of alien presence, if you want to call them aliens, I think that's misleading to call them if we think of them as extraterrestrial biological entities, I'm not sold on that. I think Grush is careful to avoid that. This new whistleblower has some new data. There's a lot out there. It's semi-speculation, but we should not assume that we're being visited by kind of the parallel biological evolved entities of some other planet. There's equally good evidence that they've always been right here with us the whole time that Earth has existed, that they've been mucking and messing with us, that maybe they possess certain powers, maybe they're not so physically rooted in exactly the same way we are, maybe they're spiritual or interdimensional or some other higher dimension, or you know.
Well, that was the other thing that you mentioning that there was one in the desert.
Yeah.
Not affected negatively by our atmosphere.
Well, I mean, that's a really important observation. We get visited by all these so-called aliens from, the default view is that they're from some other star system, who have figured out how to master interstellar space travel. There's no doubt, I think, that something's showing up here and flying around and breaking the laws of physics, and that's beyond dispute at this point, in my opinion. And I think that will be well established by these whistleblowers. But who are they is the big question. And in my opinion, they may not be totally physical. I'm sorry, I forgot exactly what did you lead with? What was the question there?
Oh, it wasn't a question. I was just pointing out that because if they are from this earth, like under the earth or under the oceans or whatever,
right.
Because I would assume that if they were from another planet, which has a completely different atmosphere, that they would not be able to be just standing around in the desert.
Right. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for restating that, because I think that's really important. If you evolved on some far distant star system, we know from our own planet that when Europeans met indigenous North Americans, their immune systems were not compatible, right? We brought smallpox to North America, and that decimated the Native Americans in an unprecedented way. And so it's just, it does not make sense for multiple races of interstellar beings to show up on Earth, land on our surface, and just be able to walk around, breathing our air, interacting with our microbes like nothing's happened. Like there are new people here. That does not make any sense. You would think, even H.G. Wells and some of the early sci-fi authors imagining alien invasions, this was a big hang-up. It was like their invasion failed because they didn't account for minor microbe, or they're not evolved for H2O, so the water rained on them and they melted, almost like the Wicked Witch. That's if anyone else is a sign of M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. I love that movie. Water, is the thing that does in the invading aliens. But I think the microbe thing is huge. If you've got some sort of other evolved DNA, you suddenly arrive on Earth, you were born on a different planet with a different level of gravity and an entire different history of biological beings. How is it that you can just step out of a disc and just walk around on this planet and be totally immune? That doesn't make...
And naked.
Yeah. Well,
nothing on them at all for protection whatsoever.
And so when you dig into this stuff, it raises a lot of questions. I personally believe that there's something spiritual going on here. I think we're dealing with beings that are potentially shape shifters and masters of deception. I could speculate a lot about this stuff. I don't want to lead you way off track on your show, because this is alien fanaticism. But it does raise questions, like why should some being from a distant star planet just be able to land on our planet and walk around? I mean, you assume their whole muscle and skeletal system is evolved for whatever planet and gravity they grew up on, that we may or may not be composed of the same elements. They may or may not be susceptible to microbes, and ostensibly they've never dealt with ours, so they should be devastating, just like when Europeans came to America and the Native Americans had never had to fend off smallpox, and it just decimated. You would think that an intelligent interstellar traveling civilization would take precautions for these things. And it seems like they're just accustomed to this world, or they're indifferent. They're fully prepared. They walk around without any spacesuits, without any helmets, without any breathing apparatus, without any. They don't wear masks. Like, look at all the masks we wore for COVID-19, a semi-minor threat. And here's a new species walking around on this planet, just breathing the air, touching people, showing up in their bedrooms at 3 a.m. You know, I suspect there's dirty work afoot. There's something else going on. It seems to me like they're from here and have been with us and know how to mess with us. And you can dig into that whole, that's not the SandyDivA Mandela Effect podcast. That's a whole different rabbit hole. But there's.
Right. I'm sorry. Ryu also says the opposite is also true. When they arrive, we get extinct from diseases that the aliens bring. Like they would be the same thing. We'd be
exactly.
the Native Americans.
We should be
Earthlings.
Right. We should be extremely careful to interact with them, lest they introduce a devastating plague.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, we would want to be taking the utmost precautions. I think that's what any sensible scientific civilization would do, right? And that's not what we see them doing.
No.
And we don't know what our government is doing. Maybe they are doing that, but there's something funny going on. And this is just a real momentous night because the next guy after David Grush, if you've been following this whole intrigue, he just basically disclosed himself tonight in a UFO Twitter space. He was listening in on a space that was kind of delving into topics he was interested in. He had he just basically decided to introduce himself tonight. And it's grown from a space that had 200 to now has like 900 people listening, and he's answering all the questions. And for some stupid reason, this space is not being recorded. The bumbling person that started it, it's just live. So
they probably didn't expect it to.
No. Well, that's the thing. They started it without him, and he just showed up like, "Hey," And so it's got everyone's attention. But there's a real momentous thing going on in my left ear. So forgive me for being a little.
Excited?
Yeah, I'm like caffeinated, but without caffeine. But we should do your show now.
Okay.
Thank you for the long. Where's Jeff?
He's still not here yet. That's what I said. You can't go by the time he says. So I did message him that we just started, and I sent the link to both of you in the same place. So. Okay.
Thank you you basically gave me a segment. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Christopher McGarvey, and I like UFOs.
There you go. Yeah, that could totally be your segment. That's fine. It's fine. I mean, the comments are going. Overprotected Harry says, I think there's no aliens, only interdimensional beings. We were talking about that probably right before you arrived. # we are all orbs. I reverse speech David Grush. I had to. I'm all about the reverse speech. Ellie Kate says extraterrestrial means extra land, and that's all it means. They are no little gray men from Mars. I agree.
Yeah, extraterrestrial is we default to the idea that they're biological entities from another planet, but all that word really means is outside of this world. Extraterrestrial, outside of this world. And that could be interpreted a lot of different ways, including energy beings or spirits. And, I'm an Orthodox Christian, so in my opinion, there's a lot of, I think this is a spiritual thing with with entities that are not kind of physical in the same way we are, but can take a shape. And I mean, it's very complicated. I don't know what's really going on, but I do always sort of hold up a level of suspicion. What it looks like might not be what it really is. And if you're in the Mandela effect community, you know that anything's possible. It can change on a moment's notice, you know?
Mhm. That is true.
What is reality? I don't know. I feel like we're at a deeper level of disclosure. I feel like the UFO disclosure is level 1. We're kind of like level 5. Shifting reality. Like level 1 is there's other intelligences out there. And what's funny is basically for most of human history, everybody knew that. If you asked people throughout all history, are we alone as humans in this cosmos? They'd be like, no. Everybody knows they've run into these other entities. We're not alone. Duh. Like that's even a question, is some weird anomaly of the last 300 years of enlightenment rationalism and secular humanism. You know, we wrote off all the gods, we wrote off everything spiritual, and we, you know, I'm not knocking science because I think we made huge progress, you know, in sort of restricting and isolating study, but we are dumber in some ways than just the basic human experiences of every culture ever. You would not find any culture until the last couple hundred years in the West, where if you ask them, are there other intelligences out there, you know, that people have interacted with, everybody would say yes until recently, you know. So it's like all the ancient religions, they all knew more than we did. We're just really dumb on this issue. We're kind of babies. We rebooted on this one thing, you know. We've made huge advances in other things, but in this thing, we're dumber than any other civilization ever, in my opinion.
While you're talking, I decided we're going to do a Mandela effect without a presentation.
Okay.
So, can you see the chat? Are you able to see the chat?
Let's see. How do I bring that up? I got to.
Oh, there he goes again. He'll be back in a second. This is for those of you that just joined us. This is the second time this has happened tonight. It happened right after we started. He just accidentally clicked out. There he is. He's back again.
But I'm trying to figure out how to see the chat. I found it last time. Oh, there it is. Your comments.
If
Okay.
you pull up YouTube, just make sure you mute the sound on YouTube.
No, I got the comments flow here. I thought I had to log in, and I messed up. But I'm a technological idiot, so thanks for bearing with me. But yeah, okay. So I'm following the chat now.
Good. I was saying if there's any questions for you or anything you want to comment on there, because I'm getting a single picture for you to show, because there is a question I want to ask, and I didn't have time to finish this presentation, but it is time sensitive. So I thought, you know what? Let me just ask them. You know, it can't hurt, right? Just ask.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So I am trying to find an option.
The Ministry of Magic is here for you, says Norse Guru. That's funny. Thank you, Harry Potter.
I did find one image, but it's got too many. Hey, Go Kart Bob. I don't know. Would you like to do a shout out? Because a lot of people are jumping in.
Okay, so I learned from you last time how not to do this, which is like, hello, everybody. This is a great show.
Yes.
So I think I know what we're doing here. So yes, let me do a shout out while you research what you're doing. So I'm scrolling up here, and let's see everybody's here. Super Mario Brothers, salute, sir. You are dedicated and awesome. We have Gerald Neal. What's your most convincing? Oh, he asked this
You already
awesome
answered a
question.
lot. Yep.
Well, and really, that's a question for the whistleblower, not for me, right? That
Yes.
that's something he's going to answer. Hopefully, what's your most convincing evidence of a UFO? The field has lost credibility, perhaps on purpose. It is a big mess, you know, and this isn't a show about all that, but there's a lot of competing noise. So I resonate with what you're saying there. We have Cubert Z getting us ready for Blue Beam. That guy knows. So Blue Beam is the idea that there's going to be like a holographic fake alien invasion for the purpose of creating a new world order. Could happen. I don't know. We have the technology now. Bellator Senex. Hola. Caught alive. He's here. Noise Guru. We've got Gerald Neal. Did I already say that? There was a moon silhouette of a UFO caught on video. I think he's talking about during the eclipse. There were some UFO sightings. That
Yes,
happened.
there were.
Yeah, that happened. Ryu Gamine Mikado. Japanese name. My wife is quarter Japanese. Salute, sir. Cubert Z. I see aliens every day in Vegas. Cubert Z. Okay, Cuberts. I grew up on Cubert on Commodore 64, so we relate. I see aliens every day in Vegas, the ones who come across the border. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to always remember the definition of alien is just someone who's not from here. It doesn't necessarily mean they're from another planet. And the whole political situation, I'm not getting into that, but I try to be as anti-political as possible. Who else have we got today in the chat? LVK. Howdy, everyone. Hello. Nice to meet you. Thank you for humoring me. Doing the shout out today. This is awesome. Scrolling through. This is a cool little quote from Gerald Neal. The guy who played the kid in The Day the Earth Stood Still, which is one of the most classic sci-fi, aliens visiting, the whole robot with the laser descending from the craft, is still live streaming right now on YouTube. That's awesome. Let's see. Okay, you brought that up. Mr. Super Sidewinder says, hey, everyone, overprotected. I think there's no aliens, only interdimensional beings. Hashtag, we are all orbs. I don't know what that last part means. I feel less than spherical, but maybe inside of a circle. I don't know. But I do kind of agree. I'm not totally sure about extraterrestrial biological entities, but I think interdimensional is for sure. But LVK points out extraterrestrial really just means extra land outside of Earth, something not from here, quite as we understand ourselves. Let's see.
I'm just letting you know, if I get kicked out, I will be right back. Don't panic. It's because I'm going to flicker.
Oh, Go-Kart Bob says hello. I remember you from a few nights ago, getting acquainted with all of Sandy's lovely followers. Thank you for letting me on board. There's no reason why I'm deserving of this honor. Hello. I'm excited to be here with you all.
Stop it.
Siren Offspring. Hello, everyone. Hard to believe. Man, that's a good name. This is hard to believe. Everything that's going on is hard to believe. Night. Oh, that's you, Nightbot. Yellow Sun. Hello, guys. Oh, I do miss the yellow sun. What is this white thing? It's so bright. I don't get it.
It's an earlier version of our sun.
That this shifting of suns and that it almost makes me throw up. The not in Sagittarius arm somewhere else. What does that even mean? I think you guys are right, but good Lord, that undermines everything. It's like, I'm going to say what I know and just disregard everything because I don't know anything. It's just, what? Thank you, Go-Kart Bob. He says, hi, Christopher. LVK. Oh, let's go back. Beltor Senex. Time seems weird, just seems off. There's a lot of comments about in this community, like time is sped up. I don't know if that's effect of middle age for me or a real shift in time, but a lot of people say that. And LVK replies, it does. Sometimes it feels like I went through a whole day and it didn't really happen because it went by so fast. Time is like a dream. I don't think time is what we thought it was. I really don't. You know, I think there is something funny going on there.
I agree. I mean, that's one of the, and the man's excuse for time speeding up is that as we age, time does go faster because we have a bigger reference point. So, for example, a 5-year-old looking forward to Christmas. Christmas felt like so long ago because they're only conscious of like the last 2 or 3 Christmases. But
Right.
for us, we're conscious of like 30 Christmases or 40 Christmases, however old you are.
Yeah.
That sounds like a man's excuse like no other to me for the time speeding up.
I mean, I do find that just I'm laid flat in bed for a little while and then evening is over. And I'm like, what the heck happened? I can't get anything done.
I agree.
Just Bellator Sonic says, just seems like 2 hours sleep is like 4 and 4 is like 1. I don't know what that means exactly.
So it's longer if you sleep for 2 hours, but shorter if you sleep for 4 hours?
I don't know. Everything feels like, to me, everything feels like I can't get enough. So, you know, I sleep for 4 hours and I wake up and it was like only at 1. But I do have trouble sleeping. So, Joe.
All right.
Blore.
Oh, cool.
Wait.
Hey,
Super
Joe
Mario
Blore,
Brothers.
good to see you. Sorry, I haven't seen Joe Blore in a while.
Noise Guru, time isn't real, it's a perception. I think there's something to that. Super Mario Brothers, 24-hour day seems like a 16-hour day. Yeah. Absolutely. We're crammed into this little thing now. And I don't know if this is just because I'm old and slow and middle age, but the white sun, yellow sun, time condensed, I'm open to that idea. I really, you know, a lot of us seem to feel that way. Joe Blore, Christopher, what are your thoughts on Andromedan contactee Alex Collier? I wish I were well enough versed to know what you're asking. You're exposing a lacuna in my UFO knowledge, so I'm not an expert. I'm basically, in the last 2 years, I became interested in paranormal and UFO. And the last 9 months, I got bowled over even harder by the Mandela effect. So I am learning the lay of the land in all of these fields and appreciate anybody filling me in on stuff I should look into. So thank you for bringing that up. Can you tell us a little more, Joe Blore, about who is Alex Collier?
New man's excuse for the time speeding up from Super Mario Brothers. Scientists say technology is speeding up our brains.
Well, and I think there's something to that with social media and attention span.
That's attention span, not time, though.
Yeah.
If anything, I mean, I guess
Shorter
you could say
attention
we are
span will
less. They could try to say that we're less bored. We have too much. We're giving ourselves too much to do, but I don't know. In the 80s, without technology, the days still went pretty fast. Like, they were slower for me, don't get me wrong. But I mean, I wasn't bored. I had things to do. If I even said to my mom, I'm bored, then go outside, she'd say.
Yeah, that's when you get locked outside in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
My wife actually had a rule from her mother,
Uh-huh.
and this was, so my wife was born, and then 18 months later, her mom had twins.
Oh, wow.
And so it was just and her father was Navy Reserve, and we get called on military duty and would just be gone. So it would just be
Oh,
her
God bless
mother,
her. Oh, my.
18-month-old, and brand new twins.
So I said, God
Um,
bless her.
yeah. So one of her earliest memories is as the oldest, very young child. She's feeling neglected and jealous of her kid sister, who's in one of those toddler rope swing things where you kind of dangle.
Mm-hmm.
And she went and, and just intentionally knocked her sister out of the thing and dumped her on the floor. That's her earliest memory. uh, uh, but um, but why am I telling this story?
We were talking about time speeding up originally.
Yeah. Um,
It happens. We
I
lose
don't
our
remember
train of
why I'm
thought.
telling the story.
It's okay.
I think,
It's all right.
but it has something to do with the perception of memory from an early age, and she kind of has a memory from an earlier age than most of us remember anything.
No, that's not true. I have one from about that age as well.
Well, that's
And that's what I
amazing.
was just about to ask. I was about to ask the chat, who here has a memory before the age of 2?
Wow, my earliest is 4 when my sister was born.
Oh, I have several memories after that. But when I say memory, it's sort of like your wife's, where it's like a single thing. It's not like
Yeah,
she can't tell you what happened that
it's
day.
a vague shape. It's like one important
Oh
fact.
no, that's not a vague shape. She remembers flipping her sibling out of the thing. That's
Yeah,
not vague.
that's right. You're right about that. But it's sort of like this 8-second episode that kind of lacks context.
Correct. And that's how
But it's
my memory
burned
is.
in so deeply.
My first memory is like a photograph, but I know the context. So, but I think I know the context because of my mom. But I could tell you the layout of my living room when I was about a year old, because
Whoa.
the woman across the street, her name was Sally. She had adopted a child from Vietnam named Kelly, and Kelly is a year and a half younger than me, and or no, about a year younger than me. So she was the picture in my head was we had a love seat caddy corner, because there's this like weird corner in the living room. So it's that caddy corner there with a lamp behind it. And then we had a longer couch. It was like an L-shaped living room. That's why it's weird. So there was a longer couch opposite the door, and then another love seat caddy corner facing the other love seat. So I must have been sitting in that love seat or in a high chair or something, just sitting there. I may have even been in one of those swings. Who knows? Because there was a big archway going into the dining room. But I just remember her coming in and sitting down on the couch to introduce us to Kelly, because she had just brought Kelly home. And that's how I know approximately how old I was, because Kelly was an infant inside the carrier. And that's my first memory.
That's amazing. Yeah. And the chat is really amping up with the stuff. There's some amazing stuff here. Let's see here.
Ryu taking a baby bath.
Yeah. Super Mario Brothers. My friend claims he remembers being born. Question mark. He says he was in darkness and then suddenly he saw bright lights. That's amazing. And I don't think that's impossible. I just think,
It's
we're sort
unlikely,
of,
but maybe not impossible.
yeah, me taking a baby taking that baby bath is awesome, and had thoughts I might drown. So trauma or something that I think there are these people that have these way earlier memories because there was something, uh, you know, traumatizing or extreme about the moment. Something really significant. I didn't have a super significant moment until I was 4 when my little sister was born and we had to go to the hospital and I had to wear this weird white, not white, but blue, goofy hat. I don't know, to be sanitary or something. I don't know why we had to wear that thing. Um, and they kind of told us what it would be like. They had like a training for toddlers about what it would be like to have a little sibling. um, but I can see if you had something, really startling from a younger age, that would get burned in. Gerald Neal, I can remember things that happened before I could talk. That's awesome. I don't have any of those.
I am right now trying to, because we can't copy that link. Joe Bloor says, "Okay, Chris, what about this UFO footage?" So I'm writing the link in the chat so that I can copy paste it and send it to you.
Right, and I'm no expert by any means to evaluate UFO footage. I want to make that really clear. I have
But I'm curious to see it. So
no
I'm
authority,
doing
but
it anyway.
I want to see any of that, absolutely. But at this day and age, as we begin to enter, this is one of the crazy things about where we're at socially in our society, as we're really entering the midst of the AI, real fake, deep fake era. AI can create anything. We're entering the era where you just footage means nothing. Because anything can be created in a video. So it's like footage means nothing unless you can prove the provenance of the video. Who took it? Where were they? Were there other witnesses? Just a video without context means almost nothing at this point, unfortunately. A video 20 or 30 years ago meant everything. You could prove a thing with a video. Now we're entering an era where you can create a false narrative with a video that's completely real looking and convincing. And so we've all got to be really on our guard about video evidence with the new capabilities of AI. So just looking at a UFO video, I'm not sure what this is going to be, but
it's UFO ejects multiple objects filmed in infrared, October 21st, 2017, Long Beach, California. I sent it to you and Jeff.
Okay, so if you know the provenance of this, if this is like military footage, or if you can establish who filmed this thing and it's legit, that's the starting point. The description sounds legit, and throughout UFO history, they like to eject a lot of weird crap, and it's not all with the whole UFO phenomenon. I'm convinced there's a spiritual and kind of absurd element that's taking us for a ride. If you look through UFO history, you find a lot of bizarre stuff. UFOs ejecting worthless aluminum confetti, tinfoil type stuff. That's really well documented.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till Jeff's segment tonight, people. There's an amazing, completely absurd story that you were telling me about earlier today. That's just
there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there.
It's super relevant, like strange, unexplainable things.
I hope Pushing Buttons comes, because Pushing Buttons is also going to be featured in Jeff's segment. One of Pushing Buttons videos.
They don't fit easy categories. The stuff you're telling me from Jeff's segment, anomalous aerial phenomenon, you can classify them as UAPs, but they're not a disc flying around with Martians or whatever. You know, there's just a lot of weird stuff in this space. So I've been, I
Plus,
feel
we're
like I've
also
taken
covering a lot of ghosts tonight on camera.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. There's a lot to cover when Jeff gets here. But can you go to Messenger and share that video? We'll check it out.
Okay.
Just to see what it's about. Now, in the description, it may give you that information you were looking for when you go to the YouTube channel.
Let me try to remember how to share. I'm such a technological idiot.
Just make sure you have the video open first before you share, so that you don't share other stuff. You know.
Right. Okay.
There should be something like share screen.
Oh, okay.
Add the stage, something like that.
Yeah, and I can say right off the bat, this is totally legitimate because it's coming from the Black Vault. That's John Greenwald, and that's a guy that does Freedom of Information Act requests to the government. So his information is what he's getting as official releases from the government by petitioning them for you know, here's a specific thing I'm asking about with a official request, tell me what you know and what they release. So this is not BS. Now
well, Joe Bloor says this footage was shot in 2017 in infrared over my hometown when I was tortured for over a year.
Whoa.
While I was tortured. Oh my gosh, Joe Bloor, that's horrible.
Yeah, whoa. Okay, so I present, share screen.
And really quickly, Splatter was 3 years old. The first memory.
Jeez, tortured.
I have a feeling that a lot of people in the community have memories from earlier, meaning that our memories are more in tune, which is why we see more Mandela effects.
Right. People in these UFO and Mandela effect communities maybe remember things from an earlier age that you're not normally supposed to be able to remember, like 18 months, 2 years. I mean, I want to say 3 to 4 years is sort of generally understood as a first memory standard. Does that seem right?
That sounds right.
Generally accepted, let's say, but not necessarily what.
But I hear a lot of people say like 5 and 6, and I'm like, wow, 5 and 6. Like I have full memories. I remember having deja vu for the first time ever in kindergarten.
That's amazing.
And it's because it was my best friend all through grade school was Tracy. And this isn't even my first memory of kindergarten, but it was probably the first or the second day of kindergarten, and it was also the second school I went to. I went to another kindergarten for one day. I remember that. I also remember getting yelled at for walking home on the wrong side, because we had like not a busy street, but a busy street for a 5-year-old, you know? And the opposite side didn't have the safeties. So I got in trouble, but it didn't matter because I wasn't going back to that school anyway. I went to the Catholic school. I finally got into the Catholic school, so I went to public school for one day. And when I got there was a girl that we hated each other in preschool. And I walked into the room and she gave me like this dirty, evil look, like, why are you here? All I remember is walking in to the classroom, but I don't know if it was the same day, if it was days later, but it was deja vu. I remember saying in my head, what is this? I remember this already happening. And basically, you know, you're 5 years old. Tracy came up to me and said, hi, my name is Tracy. You want to be friends? And I said, sure, my name is Sandy. And we were best friends from that point on. And that's like the conversation. But I had deja vu. I dreamt that happening. It felt like I had already done that, and I was 5.
Yeah.
So that's weird too.
Wait, and was that? the same girl that was side-eyeing you.
No, that was Marianne. We were friends
Okay.
later on, but
Okay.
preschool we didn't get along. I don't know why. I don't even remember not getting along with her. All I remember is that I know we didn't get along in preschool, and that's why I was getting the dirty eye, the evil eye. Like, that's all I remember. But I do remember. I remember bits and pieces of preschool. It's weird. I have lots of memories of then. They're just
Yeah, I
little
remember
clips.
shopping for kindergarten, uh, and my mom taking me to different prospective kindergartens, and the one I really wanted to go to was the place that served Jello jigglers for visitation day. I was like, wow, they've got star jigglers. I've never seen this thing before. It's tasty and I can hold it. You can hold Jello and eat it. Wow, I definitely want to go there. That's not where I ended up going, but
They
that's like a
probably were not going to give that to you anyway. It was
4 to
just for
5 year
the.
old.
It was just
Right.
for that day. Hey, Grand Tour Richard, welcome. All right. So, did you figure out how to share the screen yet? Because there's no show if you
I'm
can't.
I'm ready to click here.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. So again, this comes from Joe Bloor. I'm gonna find that link and put it on the screen. Here it is. There we go. And
Did I do
I'm
that
gonna
right?
add. Yes, you did. I'm adding you to the screen. And if you want to hit the full screen, so yeah, there you go. All right, there you go. Hit
All right,
play.
so we're watching UFO ejects multiple objects filmed in infrared, October 2017, Long Beach,
What is the name of the
California.
YouTube channel?
And that's the same year that a lot of disclosure happened with the Tic Tac and the Nimitz and stuff like that. So curious to see what this is.
Christopher, what is the YouTube channel? Credit the YouTube channel.
Sorry, I'm new to this.
It's okay.
What is the YouTube channel?
Is it at the top on the left before the title?
No, I think I'd have to stop sharing to see that.
Or you could just take it out full screen again. Hit the little square in the corner. It'll tell you at the bottom.
Okay. We are at the Black Vault. And as I mentioned before, the Black Vault is John Greenwald, who is a major, he's kind of controversial figure. He's on UFO Twitter. He's probably listening to this current disclosure thing happening. And what he does is a lot of Freedom of Information Act requests to our government to get them to, spill the beans on official programs and stuff. And sometimes they dish it out, and sometimes they just take a black marker and black the whole thing out, or say, "We've never heard of that. What are you talking about?" But he's a weird guy because he's in this disclosure thing, but he also seems to be a bit of a debunker. Like, he doesn't trust the disclosure narrative. I don't know. I don't quite know what to make of him. It's kind of like he asks the government what they know. He gets all these official disclosures, but he seems to distrust the figures that are emerging saying we have retrieved craft. I don't know what to make of him. But anyway, he's a major player. This is his channel. Basically, he doesn't post nonsense. What he puts out is vetted. So I think that's the correct background. Like, there you go. This is going to be a real video. Whatever we're going to see.
So, well, wait, hold on. How long is it? Okay, it's only 8 minutes.
Well, it's
okay.
8 minutes. Pretty long. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that is. I don't know if we should show the whole thing because of copyright.
No.
Maybe just move it along to the important parts, like what you think is.
Yeah. Are you seeing this?
Yes.
Okay, so probably it will just be a little thing, and then it'll be a lot of repeats and whatever. So, this is supposed to be a UAP from 2017, filmed in infrared. This UFO is supposed to eject multiple objects.
Okay, so I guess we are looking at maybe a cable wires or phone wires or something, and then the dots of the UFOs.
Yeah, I don't know. This looks weird. Is a satellite looking down, or what is this? I don't know.
No, it's definitely looking up because I hear dogs. And...
I'm going to skip forward when this thing gets bigger.
Thing.
Oh,
wow.
Okay, we must have missed
it. It's like the Slinky, except it's white.
It's turning into a bean, and then it's spitting out these 3.
What the fuck is that thing? Wow.
So is this guy looking into the sky? It just looks brown because of his camera infrared? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So some kind of kidney bean just dumped out 3.
Steady, you fucker.
That is crazy. And I mean, and I gotta say, it's kind of like the meteor thing, how it's separated in levels of like 3 different. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a pyramid of little dots.
Yeah.
In 3 separate levels.
And that does kind of look like the Slinky. It's like, what is this shape? So just kind of scrolling ahead through the 8 minutes, this footage does not. You get the basic gist. There's more of the same thing, like dots, fuzzy, shaky. You know.
But Joe, I will say it resembles another UFO we showed that looked like a Slinky, and like I said, we did show a UFO that looked like a meteor coming towards Earth.
That thing looks like
kind of exploded. Looks like a maggot.
It's crazy. Yeah. This reminds me of Super Nintendo. I don't know. It's like 3 balls that are loosely connected. I mean, what is that thing? It certainly doesn't feel like a stainless steel electromagnetic anti-gravity craft. It just seems like some kind of weird balls of light. You know? What is that thing? It's like a fuzzy caterpillar of UFOs.
Hold on for a minute. Sherry left? I thought she was still here.
Oh, and look, it's dumping out some more balls here? Like, what's going on? Okay, here's an important part, I think. Whoa.
It's like a string of balls.
Trying to back up to where it actually starts to happen. I guess it just dumped them right there. It's just dropping off. There it is. Here's where it's really dropping. Look at that.
Oh my God.
It's pooping pixie dust. I don't know what you make of that. But when Black Vault posts something, it's not fake. This guy's legit. He only posts vetted stuff, so
I would like to have seen that not in infrared.
Well, it might be invisible otherwise. That's one of the things, you know, if you are just looking with naked eye, sometimes you can't spot these things.
Gerald Neal says it looks like like people are parachuting out.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what to make of that.
I don't either. Well, I'm going to show you something weird now. Well, guys, we're going to get into the Mandela effect stuff because I didn't have time to do this one. And I still want to ask the new questions. Okay, so because there's something bugging me, and I will put a presentation together. You guys are getting a preview of it. That's all. So, Christopher, if you go into Flickr, I made an
Can you talk to the people for a minute while I take a bathroom break?
No, you're not allowed.
Well, I'm supposed to sign off an hour ago, and Jeff's supposed to be here. So I just need to empty the bladder real quick. All right, I'll be right back.
I would just turn your camera off while you're gone. That's all.
Oh, well, that's a good idea. See, I'm new to everything.
Yeah, mute up. Come back when you're back. And I will say hi to the chat. Hi, Mustard Seed of Faith. Welcome. So, guys, I'm going to do a quick shout out, too, because I didn't get to do a shout out. There's more of you here. I can go back a little bit. I can see Noise Guru, Gerald Neal, Bellator Senix, LVK, Good to read that, Joe Bloor. Super Mario Brothers is first tonight. Ryu Gaming. Splatter 420 is here. Go Kart Bob. Overprotected 1111 was here. I said LVK, right? Bellator Senix. Scrolling. Grand Tour Richard is here. And so is pushing button 62. I can't believe it took an hour to get the notification. YouTube is horrible. And I didn't want to send you a link and then wake you up if you were sleeping. I would have felt bad. So late. Let's see. Is that everyone? I got Mustard Seed of Faith who just popped in. Oh, Mr. Super Sidewinder is here too. All right. Good to see you all. I'm glad you guys are here. Someone else just popped in. You got no notification. Here's what I want you to do, Pushin'. Unsubscribe from my channel. Subscribe again. And then click the bell. You will get notifications again. Hey, Preliminal. Good to see you. Christopher is on a restroom break. He will be right back. Hey, Rudy P. Good to see you too. Yeah, if you have, I found that works for any, if you ever stop getting notifications from a channel you want to get notifications from, unsubscribe, resubscribe, click the bell, you'll start getting notifications again. I really believe it's because we've been using YouTube for so long, and it likes to push our newer subscriptions as opposed to our older subscriptions. So I think that's why it fixes it. But in my experience, that does fix it. "4:03 in the afternoon in Sydney." That sounds wonderful. Yeah, we're all getting that nice. Well, you're going to be getting fall weather. I'm jealous. You're getting into fall. My favorite season is autumn. I love it. It doesn't have the humidity that spring and summer have. So I always look forward to autumn. But it's usually like 1 or 2 weeks and then we're in winter. Trying to see. Pushin', do you have her email address? Because I could always send her an email with your email address if you'd like. Because I feel like that's the easiest way to reach her. She responds all the time on email. We didn't even get to the Mandela effects today, preliminary. We've been talking about UFOs this whole time. We're about to get into the Mandela effects. And while we're waiting for Christopher to return, oh, he's back anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Welcome
for sabotaging your show with UFOs, but there's a historical moment happening where if you've been paying attention to this whole thing, you were aware of David Grush last summer. A very equivalent guy is right now live on UFO Twitter, just came out of the woodwork. He's been Doppler cleared. He's going to be coming forward. He's going to be in a James Fox documentary. That's the guy that produced The Phenomenon and Moment of Contact. Like he's live in my left ear. So I'm sorry I hijacked your show with UFO stuff.
It's okay, because I don't mind talking about other things, so this is a good thing. If you want to talk about that stuff, that's fine. That's all good.
But yeah, we're here for Mandela. So
well, there is an OJ folder, and the question is related. The first image, there's an image that's the first image. So when you open the folder, the first image, that's all I want on the screen right now. It's going to be on the screen for a while because I have to ask multiple questions with that one image up.
Okay, let me open that up.
Yeah. Is she back? Or are you just calling for her to come back, Mr. Super Sidewinder?
Do I go to albums? I forgot where I find
Yes,
this.
albums, yes. So, guys, while he's pulling that up, I want you to answer a question for me. I want you to think about the O.J. Simpson trial. I want you to think about him, quote unquote, struggling to get the glove on. And I want you to answer me 2 questions. What color was the latex glove that he had to wear so that he didn't, contaminate the evidence? And what color was the glove itself? So I want 2 colors. First color, second color. First color is the latex glove. Second color is the evidence glove.
So I'm in the album. Do you want me to pull up the first image and
Just
share
the
that?
first image. Yeah.
Okay.
Please, thank you. Oh boy. So we have already in the chat 1 person with my memory, 1 person with half of my memory, 1 person with the current memory. Oh, Pushing Button says, I don't remember the latex glove.
It's a chaos.
Mr. Super Sidewinder with my memory. Yellow Sun, welcome with my memory. Hey, Bubbles Bubbles, also with my memory. All right, so I'm going to put your answers on the screen once we get the picture up, which is coming up right now. These were your options. I didn't need to give you options because you were all giving me the options that there were. Okay, so let's show the options on the screen. And Christopher, what would you say? What do you remember?
So I was pretty young at this time. I think I was in 4th or 5th grade. It was definitely something we were talking about in class and disputing amongst ourselves. So I remember this as a historical moment. I remember some of the footage. I thought that he tried on something more like a black leather glove, like something
like an isotoner, right?
More like a light winter glove, which is my mom buys me these things every year.
They're driving gloves. They're meant for keeping your hands warm on the steering wheel.
It's
right.
It's thin but warm. It's thicker than. It doesn't look like medical. Like these pictures here look like.
Well, no, because he had on a medical glove underneath so that he didn't contaminate the evidence.
DNA. So that part I don't remember, but I'm remembering a black leather, thin weight kind of glove like my mom buys me for every Christmas for some reason, even though I live in the deep south.
Okay.
At this point.
Okay, so here's what the chat said. Noise Guru said blue for the latex. Pushing Button says white for the latex, black for the glove. I'm going to leave that out for now, Super Mario. Grand Tour Richard says white, brown glove. Preliminal says white, black. But Pushin doesn't really remember the latex, just is guessing white. Cubert's not sure on the latex, but black. Mr. Super Sidewinder remembers blue with a black glove. Yellow Sun is blue with a black glove. Joe Bloor is dark cream with a dark brown.
Oh, wow.
Glove.
There's some brown here going on.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. Bubbles is blue and black. Gerald Neal is white with black. I remember white cream latex gloves, and I could go with that too. I just couldn't find. I just found this picture while we were live. I was having an issue, so I could go with the white cream too. It's fine. Maybe blue latex now says Pushing Buttons. Rudy, no latex, brown. Yeah, we already got. That's what we're gonna get to.
Chartreuse.
Chartreuse. All right, we're leaving this image up while I ask the next question.
Okay.
Okay? Guys, next question. Do you recall No, I didn't want you to go to the picture. Stay. Go off
Meh.
back.
Sorry. I thought
Okay, I
next
said
meant
stay
next
here.
slide.
No, we're staying on this picture for everything. But as
Terrible
you can
rookie
see,
here.
guys, that says blue. The latex gloves are now white or an off-white cream color, and I remember blue. You can go. Actually, stay here. Stay here. Just stay here because I have more questions. So the other question is, now this I already covered before, but I'm going to ask again. How many gloves were there? Did they only find one glove? Or do you remember them finding both gloves? So 1 or 2 in the chat, please. What do you remember
Ooh, good
back
question.
then?
And
Noise
what
Gear says, no. Definitely periwinkle.
there, I
And
excellent
pushing buttons says
vocabulary.
flesh colored. So pushing buttons is a 1. Preliminal is a 2. Grand Tour is a 2. Yellow Sun is 1. Rudy is 2. Splatter is 1. Joe is 1. 1 bloody glove, says Noise Guru. Bellador says 2. Pushing Button says the bloody glove. Gerald Neal, 1 glove and only 1 latex glove. Hubert's is a 1. So,
And
what do you
my
remember?
only clear memory is him. The only thing I would know for sure is that he tried on the black leather. I remember black leather, and I lean towards 1, but I don't know that for sure. I just know for sure that it was black leather that he tried on. I did not remember the under latex thing in whatsoever. It's just like the thing fit. 1 black glove definitely fit. Maybe there were 2. I remember 1 for sure, but I was 10, so who knows?
There's more though. Bubbles is a 1. Siren Offspring, welcome, is a 1. Now here's the other question, new question. Do you remember both? Well, first of all, do you remember a hat being part? It's going to be a 2-part question, so don't answer yet. Do you remember the hat being part of the evidence? And if you, and yes or you're going to write yes or no, and then if yes, did O.J. Simpson and Johnny Cochran wear the hat? So I want either no or yes or yes no. Or if you just remember one of them wearing it, tell me which one.
And that's where, personally, I was 5 years too young to answer that question. So
I understand. No hat, says Grand Tour Richard. Let's see. No hat for Bellador. And no, says Yellow Sun. Beanie, yes, says Gerald Neal. Okay, Gerald, now you have to answer part 2. Who wore it in the courtroom? Was it OJ, Johnny Cochran, or both? Knit cap for Super Mario Brothers. Yes, only OJ, says Push a Buttons. Yes and yes for Gerald Neal to both, I guess. Joe Bloor is yes, no, and yes. How could it be no and yes? I'm confused now.
well, maybe they're responding to an earlier question where you said answer this, then this.
Yes, and Michael Jackson. It was a knit cap for Super Mario Brothers. No, and I don't know, says Siren Offspring. No for Cuberts. Only Cochran in my past wore the hat, says Joe Bloor. Both to Super Mario Brothers. Rudy is not sure. Welcome, Carrie Skates. Good to see you. Your brain hurts. Well, imagine when mine was hurting worse. It's wrong for me. It's all wrong. Only remember Cochran wearing the hat, says Gerald Neal.
Interesting.
Black beanie type winter hats, Bubbles. Cochran wore it, I remember now. Okay, so here's the thing. The famous quote. What do you remember Johnny Cochran's favorite famous quote being? If you remember it, it starts with if, it ends with a quit. If, long blank, a quit. The reason why I'm saying that is because there's a lot of issues in that quote right now. And part 2 of that question is yes or no. Was he wearing the hat, the evidence hat, while saying that quote? Okay, so if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Wow. If it fits. Hey, Wendy B, welcome. Welcome, Raul Lara. Sorry, excuse me. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Grand Tour Richard said the glove fits. The glove fits. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Everybody's got the current memory. LVK is 1. There you go. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. That is what I remember, Joe Bloor.
Oh, that sounds better.
That is what I remember. I remember him saying,
Yeah, that sounds
glove
better.
don't fit, you must acquit. Just like that. Now he says,
Too legit to quit.
who said that?
Noise Guru.
Of course it was Noise Guru. All right, here's the thing. So here's the thing. He now says, oh wait, no one answered. Yes or no, do you remember Johnny Cochran wearing
Wearing the hat.
the knit hat while saying that quote? Yes or no? So while they answer, I'm going to tell you that he now says, if it doesn't fit, acquit. That is what he says now, and that is wrong. At least for me, that's wrong. But he says if it first, and then says if it doesn't fit, acquit. You must is gone, and so is if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. The whole thing's wrong. The whole thing's wrong for me. So in the chat, hold on.
Looks like they don't remember him wearing the hat.
Yes,
Yellow
pushing
Sun.
buttons. No, yellow
Subliminal.
sun.
Not
No.
while he said that.
Why would Johnny wear the hat? That's what I'm saying, Rudy P. Because here's the thing. Why would anybody wear the hat? Because there's no, latex cap to protect air from getting in it. It is evidence. You don't put your head into a hat that's evidence because your DNA is going to get in it. So I don't understand that at all. At all. It's all wrong.
Gerald Neal, you must is strong in my memory.
Mm-hmm. I am actually going to get the clip for you so that you can play it.
Mr. Super Sidewinner, it's got no sizzle whizzle. I like how you summed that up. It's true. And we see this. I'm not an expert on this stuff, but I've been here long enough to know that generally the Mandela effect makes things crappier, make less sense, dumbs down the impact, and it sucks a little bit more. Current version sucks a little bit more than if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. What's the current version?
Well, that's the thing. I'm going to get the clip. I'm probably going to get kicked out. If I get kicked out, like I said, just bear with me, okay?
Okay. Hold the line. We're here.
Because I'm going to YouTube to get the link for you. Now this one says you must acquit. So maybe it's back, because when I originally covered this, it was not there. And this is, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a minute. This is where you might lose me. Okay, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to leave you here and I'll be right back. Okay?
Don't leave us.
I have to leave to get the clip. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll be right back. Just say hi in the chat. See what's going on. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. We've got preliminal. If the gloves don't fit, you must acquit. Gerald Neal, you must is strong in my memory. And I did for me, this isn't a strong memory because I was probably 10, but that resonates. And it just seems to have a ring to it. Super Mario Brothers says DNA evidence. I don't know if the chat is familiar with this. This came up for me, and I can't confirm or verify this because this kind of popped up in one of these like Twitter type conspiracy threads. But people were saying that OJ posted in one of his final posts, like, I did that shit. Did anyone else see that? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I don't know the rules. I messed up. But he made a Twitter post basically in his dying hours saying, yes, I did it. Did anyone else see that? And then it got deleted. I don't know if anyone, it seemed like he came out and confessed it. But I'm not sure because who knows? Anyone could post anything on Twitter, so that could be complete, calumny and hearsay.
He was in an interview and he was talking about his book, If I Did It, which the Goldmans won the rights to in court, and they changed the title to I Did It. But in that interview, when he's talking to a one-on-one interview where he's talking about the book, it sounds like he confesses.
Well, what I'm saying, I think you missed this, was that supposedly his one of his last posts on social media, whether it was Twitter, I think it was Twitter, I'm not sure, but someone else posted this thing that supposedly got deleted and taken down later that said, I did that, blank, which I accidentally said out loud because I don't know the rules. And I'm sorry, but
no, it's okay. The rules are, as long as it's not in the first minute, we'll say. It's like 7 seconds. It's something stupid.
Okay. But so I don't know if that's real or just hearsay or what, but that popped up for me in the news blitz chaos of the day he died or whatever. Was that supposedly he had already confessed on social media, I did that, and then died and disappeared and someone took it down. But I did see the, supposed picture of the post. So I don't know what that means because you can fake anything these days, but
you can. Okay, so here's the thing. What he says now, he does now say, you must acquit. That was gone when I showed this last time. It was, if it doesn't fit, acquit. And we were like, oh my gosh, when I showed this before. And that is gone. It is now back to, you must acquit. However, he makes repeating statements beforehand that I don't remember, including, if it doesn't fit. He says, if it doesn't fit, or something like that, I have the link. We're going to play it. But before we do, we're going to show the pictures. Now, like I said, I remember a blue glove. I remember a black glove. So the blue latex, I remember him trying to squeeze. He wasn't trying to squeeze his hand in. He was purposely opening his fingers to make it harder so that it didn't fit. But it fit just fine. But I remember a black glove. And now they look dark brown. They don't look black. And I know they're not black because I have it up against other things that are black, like a jacket, like the knit cap. They're not black anymore. They're definitely dark brown. And that's not, they were black in my past.
Though we did have at least 2 people in the chat that remembered dark brown.
Exactly. Yes, they have the current memory. That's what I was saying. They had the current memory because now it's dark brown, not black. And like I said, Johnny Cochran does wear the knit cap, the
That's what I
evidence
remember.
on his head, which makes no sense whatsoever. And now
Yes.
we'll look at the pictures and then we'll look at the clip. So I sent you the clip on Messenger, but let's look at the rest of these pictures first.
Okay, so we're
There's
going through
another
it.
question I need to ask when we're looking at a picture.
Okay, so I'm moving forward in the slides here.
Yes, yes, please.
All right, so that's what I wasn't supposed to show that I already did.
Yes, that's the white gloves. I remember those gloves blue. And I don't know, it's hard to see. It could look black there, I guess, but to me it doesn't look black. It looks gray because it's actually a dark brown. But we'll see better pictures of it coming up.
Can I zoom in? No. Okay. Oh, yeah.
They look brown. That is brown. That is not black. Those are wrong for me.
My laptop's into after hours, low blue light, shift the color stuff, messing with me here. But it doesn't look solid black. That's the one thing I remember is solid black. Whether it's one or two gloves, solid black.
That's a hard one to say. Oh, that's important. Oh, you can zoom in. Good. Hit the zoom. Oh no, it won't. Stay there for a second. Oh yeah, if you can hit the arrows in the corner, that'd be great. Let me make this full screen.
It was full screen. It just won't zoom in.
For those of you that remember the two gloves, because I only remember one, do you remember that gigantic evidence tag? Because I don't. I don't remember that evidence tag.
He's going to return it for a refund when he's done.
Does anyone remember the evidence tag? Because I do not. A big yellow evidence tag. Oh.
I don't remember that. But.
All right, so go on. There's more.
Okay.
The man's jacket is black. That's a brown glove. That's all I want to point out. I only remember one glove. I don't remember two.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, don't worry about that. You can skip that one. We already saw that picture anyway. Yes,
but there
you fit perfectly now. Yes.
But it is only one glove in that picture. That's maybe worth pointing out.
It is. So there it looks like a dark brown to me. It's the closest thing you're going to find to black, but we're going to see it next to the hat in a moment. And you can see it's
there it's very brown.
1000% brown.
The hat's kind of purple.
No, it's actually black. It's probably your color thingy going on.
Yeah. But that's a brown glove right there. That
is a brown glove, and I don't remember the giant tag attached to it.
Yeah.
No, these aren't. The reason why they're so small is because these images are so old.
That looks like a leather work glove, where I definitely remember more of a black, smooth leather. Yeah, like you said, driving, put this on before you drive your car around. I don't know. That one looks
Guru, you
really
and Noise Guru might be right. That hat, he says that hat is blue. Maybe it is. We'll see when we get a closer look at the actual image when it's on his head.
Bluish tint on my laptop, but whatever.
Again, that's the image I was trying to get bigger. I don't remember the huge tag on it. I don't remember them brown. They absolutely do fit now, which is crazy.
Because they didn't fit before, or he made it hard, made it look like it was hard to fit.
I think it was both. Like I said, his Johnny Cochran's whole thing: if the glove don't fit, well, if it didn't fit, but it does fit, so
yeah, right.
Go on. Oh, that's the last one. Now
that's the last one. So
I'm going to remove you from the screen, and in Messenger I sent you the clip of Johnny Cochran with the hat on, which is ridiculous. There's no reason why a lawyer should be putting evidence on himself. It's just utterly ridiculous. And this is from CNN. And when I have my presentation together, I do have like where the second glove came from, which is strange, and pretty much the whole case was put together because of the second glove, which is crazy because in my past there was only one glove. They only found the one glove. There's a lot more. I need to put it together, and it was going to take too much time. So, you ready to go? Okay, let's make that. Yes, let's make it full screen, and that way they can see him with the hat, wearing the hat.
Ridiculous that he would be wearing the hat. That's
yes.
O.J. Simpson in a knit cap from 2 blocks away is still O.J. Simpson. It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
No. All of that's wrong. All of that's wrong. He didn't wear a hat. He didn't say if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. It was if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. You can't say that anymore because there are 2 gloves.
it's like this. There's snakes in my boot or whatever. This right? I got that snake in my boots.
Mm-hmm. But also, why wouldn't he say if they don't fit? Why is he saying if it doesn't fit? If they don't fit, that's what he should have said. There's 2 gloves. But him saying it means singular. So I think this may become if they don't fit at some point in time. But the whole thing's wrong for me. That didn't even sound like him what he said. I agree.
So I'm not. I was probably about 10 years old when this happened, and didn't understand fully what was going on. But the glove kind of resonates with me. The controversy being about the glove. I definitely remember a black glove, and I leaned towards it being singular, but I wouldn't bet my life on it, but I'm pretty sure we were talking about one glove.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to make a bet, that's how I would wager, and then the line is way better. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit is a way better line than the current version. And if there's 2 gloves, the whole thing, I mean, what's the quote? The quote doesn't make sense.
I'm taking a moment to text Tina. Where's Jeff?
Yeah, you need to call Jeff. He's asleep. He's passed out.
I don't know. He wasn't home. I hope they're okay. Because they have a long drive home. He was going to record his music. He goes to a friend's house. It's kind of like an hour drive away, so I'm a little worried about him.
Wow, it's a long drive.
It is. So so I will be putting this presentation together. I just wanted to give you guys a little preview because relevancy and all, OJ assing. And, I just wanted to get that out there. The hat is insane. And I did cover the hat before, by the way. It's just that I did it the same way I'm doing it now, where I just spoke about it and never put it in the presentation. And I do have residue for stuff. I even have a mug that says, if the glove don't fit, you must acquit. Like, there's so much residue, it's crazy. But how about we get into the other Mandela effects, Christopher? While we wait for a text message, hopefully from Tina or Jeff. Yes, Noise Guru, OJ passed on April 10th of cancer. It was out of left field for all of us. Like, no one knew, apparently.
There's so many good comments here. Okay, so
wait a minute, really quick. There's a question for something you said earlier. Harry
Where's that?
wanted to know, what is the Toy Story Mandela effect? You want to repeat what it was?
Oh, you're more qualified to answer that than I am. But so, because I don't know this super well, but Woody, right, the cowboy, when you pull his string before he's fully live and, you know, when he's more like automated, you pull his string and he says, there's a snake in my boot. But the current version is there's a snake in my boots, plural. And how can one snake be in both boots? It makes no sense. And that's the current reality. There's a snake in my boots. Doesn't make any sense. That's impossible. No one would ever write that. You know, that's one of my that's a perfect example of when I talk about some Mandela effects are just graffiti, or they're like parasitic. You know, no original creator would write that line. If you're a Disney movie, you know, script writer, you're not going to write that line. Every English major is. No one's ever going to come up with that line. There's a snake in my boots. It's stupid. It's irrational, nonsensical. There's a snake in my boot.
That's what it was.
Which is what everybody remembers, and is more intelligent and rational. And this is just a pattern to me in the Mandela effect, where it you know, sort of, it's a trickster joker kind of like teenage humor type personality, you know.
Mm-hmm. I am trying to send you. It's somehow I just got the stupid messenger bug where it won't select the image you want to select. So I'm sending you a picture on Messenger to show before we get to the other Mandela effects. I'm sending it directly to you though. Did you get it? It's just
I got a message.
Everybody can see it, because there's a ton of questions in the chat, and I just want to get it out there on screen.
About Cochran?
No, OJ. Just to you, not to you and Jeff, just to you.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
Did it flip flop back, Harry?
This is about it. Is this the April 10th thing?
Yes.
Okay. I tried to share that instead.
Yeah, we may have to actually listen to Toy Story and give me a copyright too, because it may have flip flopped. I'm going to send you that link too. But
I have you know, I feel like the Toy Story thing came up recently for me somehow. Did this flip flop? I don't know.
All right,
someone
so guys,
might have found an example where it was snake in my boot.
Mm-hmm. So again, April 10th, 2024, it was announced on X, formerly Twitter. On April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. So everyone found out on Twitter, and then it made the news and everything. So yeah, definitely passed away April 10th of this year, which is why I wanted to get this out there as quickly as possible. But now we're going to pull up the clip I just sent to you and Jeff of Woody saying, "There's a snake in my boots," or boot, because now we got to see if it flip-flopped back, because the internet is saying it's boot again.
And this won't mess up your. I don't want to
derail
you into non-monetized whatever again.
It's okay. It's fine. I can always clip it out if I have to. The only thing that stinks about having to clip out stuff so that I don't get in trouble with YouTube is it deletes the chat. It's the only thing that really, it stinks.
Am I sharing this now?
Not yet. I put it on the screen. Okay, hit play.
Whoops, we're muted. Video has no sound.
Let me get a new clip. Take that one down.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
This one's just the image.
Let's see. That's the thing. I can't listen to them. Because I'm on air, you know?
I heard this come up, but I thought it was maybe in a more marginal reference, not the main scene, or I don't know.
I'm trying to find. Oh gosh, I don't want to play "You Got a Friend in Me." I hope this is the clip. I've got 2 clips I'm going to send you, okay?
Man, lots of people are, what, is OJ is dead?
That's why I put it up on the screen. That is why I put it up on the screen. All right, this one has, okay, the second one I'm sending you has the words on the bottom. So maybe go, I don't know which one is going to work, but we'll try both of them. If the first one doesn't work, we'll go with the second one.
This one's like a 2-minute.
Yeah, I know. That makes me nervous.
I'm just kind of like preview it.
Okay.
Okay, but right at the very end, he does say the quote.
All right, so if you want to pull it up on the screen and get it towards the end and then hit play, that way we're not listening to the whole thing, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know how legit this is or anything. By the time you hear the quote, there's no picture. It's just the audio.
Do you want the second one then?
I think that is the second one.
Oh, the first one wasn't. I sent you 2 in case one.
Okay. No, that was the first one. Wow. Okay. I think this is flip-flopped.
Awesome. Then let's get this on the screen. Thank you to Carrie Skates.
What? All right. This is insane. So yeah, let me share. How do I do this?
Same way. You just share your screen.
We want.
I'm a little concerned. I have no responses from Tina or Jeff. I'm actually really worried. Okay, we're going to add to the screen. I'm going to mute you.
Hello?
I muted. What's up?
Oh. You ready to play?
Yes, but hit the X on the green bar first, in case there's words at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, this is wild.
I think I heard the S. Play it again.
They cut the clip is cut.
That's because this is not Toy Story 1. This is Toy Story 2.
Okay, I was gonna say this isn't the original, is it? It's very hard. That's you can't really quite tell. Okay, but let me go to this other one. where you
Okay.
just hear the quote.
I'm going to see if I can find another one too.
Well, so this other one you already shared, I've got it dialed up for the right moment. It basically showed a whole bunch of scenes from the movie without any dialogue, just sort of like a, sentimental reminiscence or something. And then it saved
listen to this really quick. I just found
saved the quote for the end.
I found a TikTok from a denier that says it's always been there's a snake in my boots, and they're proving it. So it's a TikTok, which means it's short. So after we listen to this, I'll send you the TikTok.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we up on screen? You ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna mute again. Yes.
Okay.
Boots. I heard the S clear as day, but I understand what you're saying.
Oh, I feel like that's more on the edge. Like,
oh no, I hear
boots.
the S clear as day. Boots.
To me, it's hard to tell if he's just accentuating the T. There's a snake in my boot. Versus S. I want to know what the chat thinks about this one, because I feel like this is one of those messing with us. Moneybags talks about this being a slightly different phenomenon. Like,
hear what you want to hear. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Well,
hear what you want to hear.
Now I'm sending you the TikTok.
I hear singular here with a hard T.
I hear S for sure, just like Mr. Super Sidewinder. S for pushing buttons.
Man. And what's wild for me is that I know I've clearly heard S. People have pointed out this Mandela effect to me, and I watched the clip, where you can see the cartoon and everything. And I was like, 100% that's boots, plural. And when I hear this one, I'm like,
well, everybody in the chat so far hears the S, so let's hear the TikTok.
Wow. Man, yeah. I don't know how that's... To me, if there's an S, it's super faint there. This is wild. So we want to go to TikTok here?
Yes, the TikTok, yes. Let me remove you from the stage so you can pull up the TikTok link.
Whoa.
That's why I took you off the stage.
I have to
also heard
verify that I'm a human here.
Yep, so did Bubbles. I hear the S.
Okay. Sorry, that was chaotic, and I couldn't hear anything you said.
Oh,
and
I got a text from Tina. Okay, so Jeff is not going to make it. It'd been nice to let me know. Okay, let us add stage. All right, let's hear this.
Are you seeing it right now?
Yes.
Whoops. Okay, I'll make that big. All right, here we go.
So when he pulls his pull string, he has a phrase. There's a snake in my boot.
No, in the movie he says there's a
snake in my boot. That's what I remember.
In that scene in Toy Story 1, Woody definitely says there's a snake in my boots. It's plural. It has not changed. Toy Story, hands down, my favorite. I promise you guys, he's always said there's a snake in my boots. While the Woody toy does say there's a snake in my boot, it has always been boots in Toy Story 1. So are you team boot or boots?
Oh, but she didn't. It's not the. But you never played it.
So when he pulls his
Wait, here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part. She just said he says boot in 2, but we just heard the S in 2. Oh, I can't. So she just said, I need somebody who uses TikTok to go stitch her in and point out to her that in 2 there's an S there, because she thinks there isn't, and we just heard it.
I thought we heard a singular there.
No, we all heard the plural. All of us in the chat hear the S.
In 2?
In 2. That was the one we heard before that you thought you were hearing the T, but everybody hears the S.
That was 2. I
That
thought
was 2.
the one with the girl that's holding him.
Mm-hmm. Was that 3?
Toy Story 2. It was the cowboy girl holding him up, and it got cut off. You couldn't really tell what was going on because the clip was sort of prematurely chopped.
Right, but we all heard the S except for you.
Well, I don't know what's going on there. I'm stuck in a singular world.
That's okay. That's okay. But the point is, she thinks it's still singular, and we all heard it plural. So someone needs to go tell this denier that she's wrong.
Whereas I know for a fact that I've studied and listened to this in the original Toy Story, and it was shocking to learn that it was boots, plural, and it was totally obvious. And now today I'm listening to these things. I'm like, I don't know. It's on the fence. I hear a hard T and maybe a towing the line S, but not clear. And I used to hear a clear S. So what's up with that? I'm hearing it's like we're not even hearing the same thing when we're listening to it live. It's bizarre.
It is bizarre.
Moneybags talks about that, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, no, you're not. We've covered many of them. We've covered many of them to hear what you want to hear.
I don't want to hear singular. I'm expecting to hear plural, so I don't know what's going on. It's not like I'm forcing it. It's just I don't hear a strong S.
Yes, Ryu, she is trying to debunk the ending. Yes, she is. And that's what I'm trying to say. We're all hearing the S in part 2. And she said it's boot in part 2. So she thinks it's boot, but it's boots now. So someone should let her know. That's all. All right, Christopher, we're going to have to do Jeff's segment to get to that amazing story.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking what we'll do is let me look at Flickr really quick because I think there's one folder I really.
Well, this is the problem. I was supposed to sign off 2 hours ago as my hardline limit to help. I was supposed to. So I don't know if I can start more new things.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm racking my brain here right now. Oh, boy.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm totally a night owl, but I'm also supposed to get up early for church. I'm on the I go to a Greek Orthodox church. I'm part of the chant team, the choir. So Jeff was supposed to take the baton pass around 1 a.m. here, Eastern time.
Yeah, I don't understand why he did what he did. I'm really sorry, everyone. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do because I can't present anything to you. So unless someone knows how to present and wants to jump on, we're probably going to have to end the show.
I really should call it for now. I desperately want to be part of that. That segment sounded awesome, but I'm prone to overdoing it, and it's just like, man, it's gonna hurt already to get up. So
yeah, I know, it's okay. You don't have to.
I'm sorry. I don't want to ruin everyone's show.
You've already been here hours longer than you were supposed to do, so you don't have to apologize at all. Really?
Well, I want the show to go on. I'm having a great time. My inclination is just to keep rolling. I'll stay up till 5 a.m. and then I'll miss church and feel terrible tomorrow.
Exactly, and I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Michael Fontaine. Thank you. He said I jump on, but I can't present. That's the same issue I have. I don't know why YouTube won't let me present on an iPad Pro, which is essentially like a computer, but they don't. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. It's okay. I mean, maybe if I'm not too tired, I'll pick up tomorrow night after Hebrew, depending on what time Hebrew gets done. So, like I said, always like turn on those notifications. You can jump on Noise Guru if you want. You don't have to show yourself. You can just show your cat.
And I could potentially join you tomorrow night. I don't know, depending on how late it is, but I do have Monday off, so.
Yep. So that's always a possibility, guys.
Jeff's segment was awesome. What he was supposed to present this non. It would be a perfect segment for me with what we talked about tonight. So I don't want to miss it whenever you do it.
Well, it will be tomorrow. Like I said, if I can, I'm going to try to do a show after Hebrew tomorrow. Because I also don't, want to waste all that work I did.
Right.
2 days of work. Just like, But yeah, guys, we're going to have to call it for tonight because I'm not going to let Christopher miss church. It's not right.
But did you have something you were supposed to say that we haven't?
Oh, you mean the update on the eviction?
Yeah,
guys. So it's a lot, though. It's unbelievably confusing. The landlord's now trying to extort money out of me for the electric that we have our own bill for, because a generator was hooked up for the store downstairs, but it was hooked up incorrectly to our electric. So the electric company came out and said, no, this is wrong. Closed our account, gave us a new account. And I don't know why Philadelphia or Pennsylvania does this, but instead of giving the electric bill to the store, which incurred that electric bill, they sent it to my landlord. So the landlord's trying to get me to pay a portion of it, like $1,000 of it. And we're also not caught up yet. And the landlord's asking for money this week. We don't have money this week. So again, I feel bad because I know you're probably spamming your friends and family on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. But if you can, please share the GoFundMe again. Try to get it out there to as many people as possible. I do want to thank. Let me open up my GoFundMe page for a minute because I don't want to mess the name up. Oh God, it's making me log in. All right, I will thank them next time on the screen with names, pictures. I actually want to update my photo. Thank you, and then say thank you again to everyone, because there's another person who donated through CashApp. But right now, it's not even. We're like $2,500 behind on the rent because Joey's not working. We cannot pay any back rent. We are paying money towards the current rent, and the back rent is just sitting there. And now he's also asking for an additional $1,000 for the electric. It's insane. We are not responsible for that electric bill, and I'm trying to get Pico to send me a letter stating that, because he has threatened to take us to court over it. So we're also being threatened with, besides being evicted, we're also being threatened with a lawsuit for this electric bill that we're not responsible for. We did not incur that electric. We didn't hook up that generator. We didn't hook it up wrong to our electric line, and yet he's trying to make us pay for it.
It's absurd. So it's really
everything
ridiculous.
Is absurd. Everything is absurd. I don't understand this. It's like everything that can go wrong goes wrong. And I don't understand why it keeps happening to us over and over and over again. It's kind of infuriating. It's like I can't get ahead. No matter what I do, I can't get ahead. I mean, and then for Joey to lose his job in the middle of this, it was just, see what I'm saying? Like, it's like we can't get ahead. It's like everything that can go wrong goes wrong. It's just, I don't know what else to do.
And please, everybody, pray for Sandy to break whatever that barrier is. You know, I don't know if there's some sort of resistance or what, but it just really feels unfair and overwhelming. And, you know, we all are rooting for you and want to, you know, have you in a place of peace where you can do this good work you're doing for all of us, and be rewarded for it. And just, you know, this is good contribution. And it's just like, for the landlord to be throwing a completely spurious electrical charge that has to do with some other electrician bungling a job and assigning it to your account, and then the landlord receiving the bill after it's been cleared for your name and then trying to charge you anyway. It's just completely absurd. It's just, I've never heard such a crazy thing. You know,
I have, when during the pandemic. So you know how like they made everybody stop working, right?
right.
And they're like, oh, it's okay, you'll just go on unemployment until the restaurants are allowed to open again. Joey applied for unemployment. Well, Pennsylvania decided that they were going to update their 40-year-old systems in 2020 when everyone in the world was on unemployment. Best timing. And because of that, they weren't paying people. There were problems. And I'm talking about, you can still go online to Reddit and there's all these places online. You can find articles. People were protesting outside the governor's office. It was a Pennsylvania only problem. And
Yeah.
Joey went 7 weeks and then 11 weeks without a single payment for unemployment. And for people who are poor, who live paycheck to paycheck, that is devastating. Like, and my landlord's asking for rent. He's
That
like,
was the
"You're on
beginning of the
unemployment."
entire, was that the beginning of the entire kind of pile up for you?
Yes. Yeah, that was the start of the yes. So we had to do a GoFundMe then because the landlord did not want to wait for ERAP. ERAP, it was the rental assistance program, emergency rental assistance program, which we applied for because of everything that happened. And we did get approved, but they only paid a portion of it. They didn't pay the whole thing. And on top of that craziness, and at the time, I had text messages, and that's why my landlord told me I wasn't allowed to show text messages, because in 2021 I did. I showed the text messages because there was a guy. I did change their names. I just called him R. That used to collect the rent from us and give it to, like, he collected the rent from all of my landlord's properties, and he was skimming off the top, and he was stealing from the landlord. So we were worse off because R was taking, like, he was charging us the $50 late fee and not paying the landlord. He instead was paying the landlord our rent. He was fronting the rent to the landlord. I don't know why he was doing that. We didn't ask him to do that. And then he would keep, like, these late fees. And then the landlord added those late fees on, thinking that we weren't paying late fees when we were. It was this whole mess. And so he got fired because of everything that happened. But that's where the landlord came up with July of 2022. He made me pay July of 2022 in this eviction because R stole that month of money. So because R stole that money, he made us pay it, even though it was paid for by ERAP.
Well, it's like
everything is crazy.
Right now, he's trying to make you pay for someone else's electrical bill.
Yeah, just like he made us pay for what R did. Excuse me. You guys didn't hear that. Ignore that. Just like he made us pay for that. But what was I supposed to say? I mean, he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has all the power right
You have no
now.
power, right? Yeah.
Well,
I'm very moved looking at the chat. There's just a lot of love and support and prayers here. You
I
know,
see it.
everybody's rooting and wants to help and pray, and just I'm very moved, and I also will be praying. And yeah, you've
It's
blessed
very,
us all. You've blessed us all in a lot of ways, and I think it's very unfair that you haven't qualified for disability, and you know, it's just like I don't know. Let's all pray for a breakthrough, that God will provide a way for you just to have a place, you know, for Joey to find a job, for disability to come through, or whatever it is. Let's break the curse, you know.
that's what it feels like. It
In
really
Jesus'
feels
name.
like that.
Yeah, I understand. It doesn't make sense. It feels like a wall of opposition just piling.
It sounds selfish, but I think to myself, I already suffer every day with my health. Why do all these things keep happening? It just doesn't make sense. I feel like I'm being punished for something.
Yeah, and I mean,
that helps, actually. He says, Super Mario says, you're not cursed yet. This world is. I can believe that. Wow. So, yeah, if you guys can, the GoFundMe is listed in the description. So is PayPal, CashApp, Ko-fi, all the links. They're all in the description. Pushing buttons, I'm going to show your video tomorrow, but that's also linked in the description. So if you guys wanted to check out Pushing Buttons' video and his channel, it is linked in the description as well. Really, guys, thank you. I couldn't even read all the comments yet because my eyes are filled with tears. I can't read anything, it's all blurry. But I'm sorry we didn't even get to them. But at least we did the OJ thing, and we looked at Toy Story.
Well, I'm really good at derailing your plans so far. It's like, let's do, you know, music stuff that gets you defunded, and the UFOs. Okay. So upset.
It's all good. Well, there was supposed to be a different plan of action tonight. Jeff was supposed to jump in to relieve you, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, because Jeff did go to sleep and is not coming, I will, you know, I'm just gonna do it. It doesn't matter what time he gets done. There will be a part 2 tomorrow night. So I'm going to change the title to this as part 1, and I'll set up a stream for part 2 and hope I have enough time, because I don't have $20. It's $20 for StreamYard. So I think I do have enough time now. I should have enough time to do another show tomorrow. And that's what I mean. I have the time. StreamYard limits my time. So I think I have enough time now. I should be okay. So Hebrew tomorrow night, and then right after we'll do part 2. Get to the Mandela effects. Get to Jeff's segment, which is ghosts, and I can't even call it a UFO. Well, there is a UFO because I am pushing buttons.
It's a fantastical phenomenon. That other thing, it's really fun.
That has a lot of documentation, just no pictures.
It's bizarre.
It is. So look for part 2 tomorrow night. Thank you in the chat, everyone. Really, thank you.
And thank you also for humoring me. And there's so much love in the chat. God bless you all. This is an amazing community you have all developed. And thank you, Sandy, for being in the trenches for so long. And, you know, people like me who just stumbled into this and we were totally lost, you know, like thinking we're losing our mind. And, you know, you're one of the people that I stumbled into that just helped me recover like okay, there are other people out there that are experiencing this. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe I can still hold on to my sanity. So, you know, you've given a lot and we want to give back.
Thank you, Christopher. And thank you, everybody. I love you guys too. I'm crying now because of them, not because of the bad stuff. Like, because of all you guys. Good tears, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to say goodnight. So Christopher can get up for church and get to bed. And you'll probably make it tomorrow night if it's not too late, right?
Yeah.
All right. And Jeff will be here tomorrow night. So we'll see y'all tomorrow night. Sorry for making you hear me cry again. Not my intention. And I guess we'll get to the outro. Have a great night, everyone. I guess Christopher already left. Have a great night, everyone.
Smash the two, smash the two, smash the two, smash the two. Turn this crap off, 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 please turn it off. Why must we watch Friends? 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 I've seen this show about 1,000,000 times. Not even funny when I'm drunk or high. Why must we watch Friends? 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 I'm telling you now for the 100th time. To change the channel, this show is a crime. Why must we watch Friends? 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 That laugh track is so annoying to me. They wouldn't need it if the show was funny. Why must we watch Friends? 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 There's so much better ways to spend my day than watch TV sing down a cat so smelly. Why must we watch Friends? 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 Why must we watch Friends?